It's very interesting just standing out here observing what's happening out there from up here. I've been away for 2 weeks with this rotten cold that got to my chest and it was shocking. A few of you have had it, right? I come back, I don't know half the church. And I'm sure it's got nothing to do with my memory. It's constantly this, there's so many new people coming into the church. It's so exciting. It's so awesome to see. If you don't know me, I'm one of the pastors here. And I'd love to say hello after. So come and find me because I don't want a scenario where in a few months' time you go, no, I've been coming here for months. So I get that a little bit as well. And it's embarrassing for me. So please come and say hi. I definitely don't bark. Oh, sorry, I bark, I don't bite. I bark because I'm still got a little bit left, but I'm pretty good. So I may cough a little this morning. I'll do my best not to. All right, so this is one of those Sundays that we do in the beginning of August each year where we like to give you a little bit of an update of what's happening in the life of the church. We do this in August and we do this in February. And so if you're new here or been here only the last few weeks, it's probably a really interesting time to see what this church is about and where it's been, what it's been doing over the last few months and I guess last few years and where we're heading to an extent going forward. But because I'm aware that there's forever new people coming through, it's really important that we also state to you what our vision is. And so I apologise to those of you that have been here for many years. I'm going to keep this very brief. And I can because it's a very simple vision that we have. But I just want to share that with you so you get the heart behind then what's going to happen. So first of all, the vision of our church is pretty simple. It's bringing life to our communities. And what we really mean by life is we mean Jesus. So it's a very, very simple thing. It's the Great Commission in some simple modern English, bringing life to our communities. We say our communities, not our community, because I know that all of you are part of various communities that I'm not. And we've all got different social clubs, workplaces, personal interests and things where you connect with people that we do not connect with. But together, in the little connections that every person has, we can all do our bit to bring life to those communities, right? And that's pretty much how it works. So that's why it's plural. How do we do that? Well, there are 3 things that we say to the church, and you'll see people wearing jumpers, beanies, t-shirts, and hoodies around this place with these words on them. And it's a reminder to all of us of what the heart of the church is. And the first thing you might see is we want people to know genuinely. And the best way that we say you can do that, how can I know someone genuinely? Keep it real. Just be you. Be real. Develop real, genuine relationships with people. That is a really, really important part of getting to know someone genuinely. You got to be real with them. Doesn't mean be really rude. It means be genuine. Just let them see the real you and form genuine relationships. The second thing we say is love. Love radically. Love them in a way that makes them wonder. Why would that person be so nice to me? Why would that person do something for me like that? Make them wonder in a way that actually draws them into your world and into your church as opposed to wanting to repel it. And the last thing we say is to serve passionately. How do we do that? Try to be the difference somewhere. Be the difference. Do something that makes a difference in someone's life. It doesn't need to be big. And we've talked about this many times here. We can be a difference just by one day you seeing a person on their own and you going and saying hi. That can be a difference to that person. In that moment of that day, sometimes they just need someone to say hello because they've had nothing. Little things can be a huge difference in a person's life. So we put it together and the vision is pretty simple. Bring life through know, love and serving people. On a bigger picture, we also have this strategic goal, which we're halfway through, which is to be a church of 4 family-friendly campuses by our 75th anniversary, which is in 2031. And we're already up to 3 campuses now. This year we launched the 3rd campus. You're going to hear a little bit about that a bit later. But it's been very much a year of working towards that strategic goal as we planted that 3rd church in February. So I want to just quickly now start by looking at some of the stuff that's been happening in West. So let's look at 2026, the year so far. The first thing I loved as I go back in time was that incredible job that the people did with our Easter services. If you were here, you know what I'm talking about. They were amazing, weren't they? So powerful. They've set the benchmark so high for next year. I don't know what they're going to be able to do there, but it was so powerful, so incredible. And then there was that incredible youth camp that none of you probably went, or very few of you, but there'll be a few down the front that did, yeah. A few of the boys down the front went, and incredible, and some of the girls, if there's girls, who here went to youth camp? Sorry, girls. All right, fine. And I don't know what Tim and Shaq do there, but what I do love of what they do is they are building a culture where the young ones want to sit at the front of church. They have got the young people so passionate for God. It is awesome to see. And it was a crazy time. You know, my kids, it always seems to be a disaster when they go to youth camp. When my daughter went, she pulled an all-nighter on the first night and she was out for the rest of it. And Rocky went this year to his first youth camp, and I had to go and pick him up after one night. He was wrecked after 2 nights, he was wrecked because he was sick as a dog there. I don't know what it is, my kids in youth camps, but generally speaking, they have an amazing time, and it is so God-focused at the same time. It's an awesome thing. So well done to Tim and Shaq and the team for what they put on there. That was amazing. Then we had a women's conference earlier in the year, which I didn't get invited to, so I can't really comment on. But I have heard it went really, really well. I think there was nearly 100 women. I can't remember how many. Something like that. And they had some women come up on a panel and they shared from the heart. And it was apparently a really, really good time of connection for the women. So that was awesome as well. So thank you, Joe and the team, for putting that together. This year's like a birthday celebration year, not only for the church, but also the school. We have a school, and it turned 50 this year. And there's still one more event to come up, the Spring Fair on September the 23rd, which is going to be like a twilight sort of thing happening over here that you'll probably hear about soon. But back in March, we had a big service outside there with nearly 1,000 people, just celebrating and talking about the past of what's happened over 50 years at Portside, and they did that in the new area that was developed in the last couple of years. Another exciting thing that happened, the Sound of Music. Now, you know, I've got to be honest, I'm not a fan of the Sound of Music. I'm really not a fan of musicals per se, but I went to this and I thought it was awesome. They did such a really good job. Pete Gillard, where is he? Someone should bottle his blood. They really should. Man is a genius when it comes to this stuff. He takes young kids that really don't know a lot about this stuff and they turn it into something that is almost semi-professional. And I know, it really is the way that these kids do it with their orchestra and their actors and Naomi, who does all the drama side of it, of course. Is Naomi here as well? No? Well, she's left now anyway out of offence. So, but between Pete and Naomi, they are like awesome duo that do an awesome job with this, and it was really good. Can I encourage you? Has it been announced? I know what it is, but has it been? Can I say? So next year they're doing Sister Act. So I encourage you, as a church, let's go along and support these guys. Come along to Sister Act next year. It'll be awesome. They'll do it on 2 nights. Really encourage it. Going back about a month ago, we then had our big 50th school dinner, which was on at the Crystal Palace. What is it? No, it's not the Crystal Palace. Crystal Function Centre in Port Adelaide. It looks a bit like a Crystal Palace. And that was a really awesome night of just looking at the big night out, just celebrating what's happened in the life of the school from its infancy, where it was one little transportable, to what it is today. And then, of course, I had the band from the school play there live for everyone. And one last little thing, you'll see on the next slide, this is on our new building on stage 1. We've put some plaques on there, and they are all the old scholar plaques. So every time a kid finishes year 12, every kid that finishes year 12 will have their name permanently on there. And we've got the next photo, you can see where we're up to. Because we only started year 12 in 2009. But what it means is that in the future, the kids are going to be able to come back as parents and bring their kids and show, here's where I did year 12. We're trying to create that old scholar feel, create legacy, and that's permanently going to be there. And every year they'll just add. And what you'll see is, look how small the year 12s were, the number in 2009. In about 3-4 years' time, that jumps to nearly 70 names. So, and then I think in about 5 years' time, it's jumping to 86 or something names. It is growing the school, even with each class of year 12. But that's a really cool look if you ever want to go there one day and see all the names from the past. What's been happening here in this campus on a Sunday morning? Well, I would say it's continued to grow. There's about 420 here on average on a Sunday morning. It's last year averaged 404. We're halfway through this year and it's averaging a bit over 420. But by the end of the year, that could be 440. There's only 450 seats in this auditorium. So you can see it is starting to realise that the auditorium is getting to a size of what it can cope with the number of people coming through. Can I go to the next one, please? Aldous. That's the overall congregation here. And, from 2023, 400 odd to nearly 777 now, which is the perfect number, so let's not have anyone come or go. That's a Christian joke. If you don't know what that's about, that's fine. Just ignore me. But you'll notice that when we ended last year, it ended at 778, and it's currently 777. So really it's dropped by 1, but we sent nearly 40 people up north. So really there is still growth here. We've already replaced basically the 40 that have gone up north. So that was to be expected. There'd be a little bit of a dip, but already, as I said, it's basically replaced. Can I go to the next one, please, Aldous? The weekly offering has also taken a dip because we sent some key families up north and they are now contributing to our new campus. And so financially, it's been a bit of a struggle in the last few months, if I'm being totally honest. That's our average weekly offering. And to go from 12 a week to 10-8, the church has had to just tighten its straps a little bit, but we do thank you all for your giving. And this is just a thing. If you're going to give out and you're going to send people away, it's going to have an impact in different areas of the church. But we're thinking big picture, long term, what's best for the interest of the people of the northern community, and they needed a church there. So this is what we do. Can I show the next one? That is, if I added up the 3 campuses combined, south, north and west. At the start of this year, it was 906 and it's up to 968 in July. So it's on track for about 1,000 by Christmas. So it is a really healthy organisation, and I think this has come about because people here are living the vision. And when you live a vision that is the Great Commission, what you end up with is more people. When you know, love and serve people, you get more people. So this is the outwork of people outworking the vision. So all I can encourage people to do is keep outworking the vision. That's all you need to do. Baptism's a really important thing. 74 in the last 3.5 years. So we're 11 this year, and we're only halfway through the year. So it'll be 20 odd by the end of the year. I love what's happening there. Baptisms are so awesome. I mean, I know I missed 2 again last week. And I still love that one, Aldous. He's going to have the best baptism memory of anyone, I reckon. Like in a manky old bath, in the most beautiful setting with the dirty water. But it's like, you know that you are serious about Christianity when you're willing to put your head under that. None of these I need purified water people that get baptised over here. And I wanted, mind you, that was stinking hot. That water was cooking. So we got rid of some of the microbes that were breeding in there. But if you would like to get baptised this year at the block, we would love to do that, by the way. Coming up, let's have a look. First thing, you're going to do a census in a couple of weeks or you're going to get a fine. And a lot of people always say, there's a question, it's an optional question about religion and what should I put? And what happens is Anglicans will say, I'm Anglican, and Catholics will say, I'm Catholic, and Christians will write 18 different answers. So they don't get good representation. So when they go back to Parliament and they're trying to get things done that are going to benefit Christians, Christians have watered themselves down by putting different terms. So we've been asked by our denomination, don't put your denomination, put Pentecostal. Because if every denomination does that of Christians, we're actually going to get better say in government, which is going to have better say in policy for the things that you might care about. So can I encourage you, I don't want to tell you what to do, but if you're thinking, well, if I want to put something, don't put CRC, don't put Portlife for what you believe in, put Pentecostal, because that's what all these churches are encouraging people to write, and it will matter. The percentage of that does have power in Parliament. So please think about that. That's why I put that in. Next thing, we have an extraordinary members meeting. This is people who are not members of the church, but legal members of the church. So these are people that voted AGMs and that. But I want to open it up to the whole church. You can't vote on this, but you're welcome to come to this meeting if you're not a member on 26th of August at 7 p.m. in here, where I've had, in particular, Sally and Nick have gone away and asked them to look at our beliefs of the church and to rewrite them, not to change the meaning, but to make it in modern day English that a person walking in off the street can understand. Because language does change over time. And so we then took it to the elders board and they went over that and they made some changes as well, and we then put it out to our members, and some members have come back with some really good, important things that they would like us to re-look at, and we've done that. So members are going to get a revised copy in the next week of where we're now at. But I assure you, none of our positions or beliefs have changed. It's just modern words, so that a person off the street that comes into our school, because whatever our beliefs are, they're also the beliefs of the school. They adopt them automatically, constitutionally. For a family that comes into the school, we want them to understand what we believe so they can clearly get that. So it's just modern English. That's all we're changing it to. So if you are interested to know what are those beliefs of the church and what are they going to reword them as, come along to this meeting if you're interested, 26 August. You won't be able to vote if you are not a legal member, and you will know if you're a legal member because you've already received paperwork about this. The next thing coming up, which I'm really excited about, is Woman versus Wild. And this is where you can come and get baptised if you are not baptised. We would love to do some baptisms there again. It's good fun. But this is a weekend away coming up. Church will be happening here, by the way, for those that aren't going. But for men or women that want to go away up to my property for a night, and we're going to have a lot of social interaction, we're going to have a bonfire, we're going to have a worship time, we're going to have a little bit of chatting around the bonfire. It's an awesome time. We would love to see you there. Becky's going to be out the front in the foyer, outside foyer, after church today selling tickets. If you want to come to that, we have to cap it at 80 people. We can't accommodate any more than that out there. 80 places. Once they're sold, it is gone. It's $30 a person if you want to come and join us. And when you pay, she'll show you all the details of what that looks like. But I'll give you the heads up, there are no showers. There will be toilets. There's toilets, there's no showers. Can't even improvise for you. It's one night, you'll be fine. Or you can get baptised and you will sort of be all right. Right. Can I just encourage you to save this date? This is where we're going to have our 70th birthday celebration, October 9, 2026. Save that date. We aren't giving you the venue yet because we are trying to I'm jumping all over the place now, but we are almost at the point of being able to secure a facility for the North Campus. We think. I don't want to, and I'm not going to mention the name of it because we're in negotiations at an earlier stage, but it's looking promising. But the last thing I want that to do is to fall over, so I'm not going to mention the name of this place. But we have asked them, given that things are progressing quite well in just our initial talks, and the council have said, yep, you could use that for a church. So that's an important part as well. But we've said to them, could we possibly have your facility for our 70th birthday so that our church could come and see that facility and celebrate its 70th night there? And they're taking that to their committee this month. So as soon as I know that, we will put out the real details, which we're just saying, just save the date for now until we know, because we would love what a great way to celebrate the 70th than to celebrate it in what will be our newest venue if it comes off. So if we can't, we'll just pick somewhere around here. That's fine. But just give us a few weeks and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. When it comes to overseas missions, this has been a real challenging area, and Myanmar, for those of you that know, is an area that we have invested heavily into for 16 years now. Since 2010, we built children's homes there. We've built houses there that are now being used as churches and Bible colleges, and that's all due to the generous giving of this one church here. You have bought land, you have built facilities, buildings, and we used to visit. And that all came to an end after COVID, as soon as COVID came in. Also, politically, things went bad there at the same time. And it's now under military rule, and we cannot still get into the country. And I've been monitoring this. They had elections earlier this year. Things went relatively calmly. But the problem for us is that we won't send people over there, even myself, without the ability to get government saying, yes, it's safe to travel, you can get travel insurance. I can't get travel insurance, which means I can't go. And they've made that very clear. Even there is no embassy for Australia in Myanmar at the moment. So if I get into trouble over there, it's really hard for us to get back out. So they're saying, no one will give you travel insurance because of that. So you're basically going there, and we could end up with a $500,000 bill trying to get out of a very war-torn country. This is where we're at. So what that means is that I will be meeting up with Andrew, Pastor Andrew, in October of this year, and I'll be talking about the future with him. Of course, we still want to be financially supportive of the home and the works that they're doing there, but it looks as though that's probably going to be it. Unless there was a miracle and something changes. And in the future, if it changes and the country opens up, we could look at sending teams back in. But what it probably means is that the board will now go away and over the next few months really plan, okay, if Myanmar really is going to be just a missions place that we can only send financial assistance to, predominantly, then we're going to start looking again at, okay, We've exhausted it, we tried, we waited to see if we could get in. We can't get in, so now we start looking at an alternate of where we're going to go for our other missions area. Because this church has always had a passion for overseas mission. We just got to work out what's next. So we will, as soon as that has all happened, we will hopefully by February next year, which is our proper Vision Sunday, we will have a plan for you of where we're going to be heading going forward. So does that make sense? But what I assure you is that what we've done in Myanmar is not wasted. That is going to be an ongoing concern, and that will be forever ministry going on there. It's just that we're physically not going to be able to be ever part of that at this stage, which is really sad to me, and maybe to some of you. And for those of you that have ever been with me, and I know a lot of you have come with me on trips over there, it's devastating. Really, like you feel like you want to go and visit it again and catch up with all those people, and it looks like we may never get back. So pray for them and pray that maybe things change in the future, but it's not looking likely. And the reason I say that is that last time the government did this, they held power for 50 years before this last military thing ended, and then it only was not in military coup for 8 years. So they had 50 years of this rule, then 8, and we're now into about year 4 of this again. Could be another 46. Who knows how long this will go on for. Christmas baskets is another thing that will be happening again later this year. We, as a church, raise some money for Christmas baskets and we give it to a women's domestic violence shelter on the other side of Adelaide. It's been a really good ministry that this church has taken on now for a number of years. We give these, particularly women with domestic violence situations and kids, we provide a starter pack for them, which gives them about $400 worth of stuff just to start out. Pillows, sheets, towels, all the stuff that you need, toiletries. As well as we give them a basket of goodies and a $100 Visa voucher. And I think over last year, I think it was nearly $30,000 was raised here and has gone there. And throughout the year, Kendi and the team have continued to come and they email us when they say, hey, we've got a new family that's come in. Can we have another starter pack? Hey, can we have money for this? So that has continued on through the year. And we've nearly gone through all those funds. So we're ready to go again near Christmas. So watch out for that. And then, of course, we'll have our carols here on Christmas Eve. And that's pretty much a wrap of what's going to happen in the next 6 months. Looking beyond that, as we've talked about, you can see that we're in the middle of winter when everyone's getting sick and it's cold and there's a multitude of reasons why some of our regulars stay away. And as the weather warms up, so does people's appetite for going to church warms up with it. And so we find that just as we've mapped this out, when we get to September, October, November, you're going to see the numbers swell again. And so we know that there's a physical limit that's happening here. And that is why, of course, one of the reasons we are looking at these expansion plans, which would take this auditorium from 450 to closer to 600, as well as the stuff it would do out there and out here. I don't want to really go into a lot of that, the detail of that today, but you can see some of the renders that have been put together of the idea of what we're looking at, where green monkeys will move right around here, the offices will move over here, all of that becomes foyer, which an area that a lot of you probably haven't even been to, we double the size of our foyer, we add a third the size of the church, and there'll be some flexible stuff happening over here with the kids area. So in order to do that, you need money. And we have been raising a bit of money over the last few years. And in the last 50 days, as you know, we did 50 days of fun. And I really want to say thank you to the church for there's so many people that stepped up and went, yep, I'm going to be part of that. And I'll have a figure for you in a minute. And so this is where it's at. So let's have a look at this now. There's no real drummer, 139K. In the middle of winter, in a pretty tough economic time with all that's happening in the world, all I can say is what a very generous church. So that takes the total that is now in our building fund to $399,000. Now, how many people in the room have OCD? What? Good? Yep. Who? Wouldn't it be nice if at the end of today this had 400,000, right? Wouldn't that be good? I mean, it's tantalisingly close. You know what? Where you go to sign up later today for Man versus Wild, Woman versus Wild, if you're one of those OCD people, you don't have to admit it, but Becky's going to be out there taking money for the... she's got the FPOS machine here now. Does anyone want to push this up to 400? If you want to make it, it is never too late. Can I just go to the next slide? We still need another $100,840. So we don't want to cap it at $840, but if you want to make a donation to this, of course, this thing's going to keep going, but we are now in a position where we're going to start getting serious. We've got enough money to now engage with builders and to start engaging with the bank and to start working out exactly what that first stage will be and how we can do it and minimize disruption to an existing school and church, right? So it's going to be tricky, but it's going to be doable. And it's thanks to the generosity of the church here that this is now going to become a reality. So if you haven't already made a contribution, don't go, oh, well, I missed it. No, we still need, can we go back? We still need another $100,840 at least from the church here, because as you know, building costs, they're only going up. But with $1 million, we can do some serious stuff. Now we go to the next slide, and we'll pause it there for 15 minutes. Until I see every phone out. Joking. Right. Yeah, you're right, not really. Now, just leave it there. Now, let's go to the next one. Portlife South. So Portlife South is our other campus that is down southern Adelaide, which was a campus that was previously known as Seaview Community Church. They contacted us about 7 years ago nearly, and said, look, we need some help. And in the end, from discussions of the two churches, we decided to take them on and sort of adopt them, and they're now part of the Portlife family. And so Pastor Kevin, who was one of our pastors here in 2019, left with a team of about, again, 25 to 30 from here in 2020, at the beginning of 2020. And Portlife South, I'll be honest, this year is going gangbusters. Like, they had a few years where it sort of plateaued a bit and it's really taken off. And more often than not, they're getting closer now toward 90-ish to nearly 100 each week at the moment. So this is really, really good. Again, they're in a small facility. There's going to be capacity constraints just with the size of the building. But they've done an incredible job down there, particularly with young adults. Fully renovated the whole facility. Like, if you ever get a chance and you're down south for a weekend, pop in there. He'd love it. Say, hey, I'm from the West Campus and thought I'd come and support you today. Go and have a look at what they've done there. And their Green Monkeys is amazing in the cafe. They've done such a good job. There's such a good feel there at the moment. And they're gearing up for a building fund thing there, I think, today. He's starting to think, well, what's next for us? Like, what are we going to do? We've got capacity problems like the West. How are we going to deal with that in the future? So they're going to be looking at that. Church Planting Fund, what we've been doing is, if you remember, the church, this is not the congregation, but the church gets the offering, and then we put 2% away into a different bank account for future church plants. So for 2024 and 2025, we put away 2% of the offering that came in, and we just parked it into an account. In 2026, we doubled it from 2% to 4%. So for the first 6 months of this year, it's gone to 4%. The red line shows you the target of what where we thought we might be at, which is at the moment, we thought it might have been around 42,000. In reality, at the moment, it's 64,000 in reality is in that account. This is purely only to use on the third and the fourth campus to help them both get started and properly established. So some of this money will go to the third campus when they get a site to help them, money to build the stage, to buy chairs, to put in carpet, to whatever's required. And for the fourth campus, which will be in a few years' time, who knows what they'll have to do as well. And it just adds funds to make sure that those campuses are going to be able to not have finances preventing them from getting set up and established. So again, when you see what's going to be happening in North, this church, you can actually go, well, I actually contributed to that because I gave to the offering here, and 2% of that, or now 4% of that, is now heading north to help that church and the fourth church that'll be in the future. I also had a person come to me, and I'm certainly not going to name them, but a person came to us at the church and said, look, I have some money and I want to put that to something that involves church planting. We said, well, this is the church planting fund, and they like, well, here's 10K. And, you know, that was amazing as well, which is why it's really jumped up there, the orange line. So we don't ask people to give to this, but it is there, and what a great legacy. That will be a legacy thing that just helps that third and fourth campus get established. And I just wanted to update you. You can see the amount of money that's been really effective without really hurting anyone, because it's just money that comes in and we just save a little bit for that rainy day that's coming. So Portlife North, the last thing I want to talk about today. So if I go to the next slide, this is where they're meeting at the moment. It's called the Virginia Institute Hall. We've been there since February, started on February 15. It can cater for about 80 people. They're averaging about 60 people. This is a service from about a month ago, 3 to 4 weeks ago. They had an incredible service, had 4 baptisms, and about 115 people turn up. It was crazy. One of the young adults that got baptised had 43 of her family come from Melbourne for it. You don't see everyone here because they're not allowed to have any more than 80 in there, but that 115 people there on the Sunday morning, and they baptised them in the rain in an ice bath out on the grass outside. They were warm, yeah, they heated them, but everyone who was watching the baptism were getting baptised with the rain, and that was cold. It was complete role reversal, but it was cool. Tim and Shaq are doing a great job there too. Like I tell you, these other campuses, they are firing at the moment. So there's what's happened. They started in February with 39 people, and there's now 65 people in the congregation, as well as about another 20 to 25 that are on their way to being a part of the congregation. Because we don't just make them congregation straight away. They've got to have come for a certain period of time. But what you would see there is in 6 months nearly, it's nearly heading towards doubling. So really healthy stuff that's happening north. And of course, when they do get their facility, if we go to the next one, again, earlier this year, thank you to anyone that put money towards this. We needed money we could buy this playground that used to be a little Rockets playground that went broke. And there was this $200,000 playground. It was massive. And we could have it for 20K, and I think within a week the church came up with more than 20K. So we bought really 3 playgrounds. One's going to a church that we said, well, you can have that. That's in Murray Bridge. They're not part of us. We just said, you have that, because they're storing our other 2 for us in their facility for free as part of that deal. So they get a free playground. We've got 2 playgrounds, one for the 3rd campus and eventually one for the 4th campus. And they're done. They're ready. So as soon as we get a facility, there will be a green monkeys within weeks. So again, thank you to what you guys here did for that. I'm going to ask the worship team to come. Last slide. How crazy does that look? Do you know this is a photo taken a few weeks ago, a few months ago? I wasn't here, I was up north that morning. This was not a particularly special morning. This was a Sunday morning service. Some of you were here, a lot of you might have been there. When I look at this photo though, it tells me what's happening in the life of the church. There are a lot of people, and it's so important that we do make plans for the future now, because you can see it is actually becoming... it's filling up. And when I looked at that photo, I spent a few minutes looking at that the other day, and I zoomed in different areas. And again, it's so good to see such a diverse group of people, different ages, different backgrounds. It's so good. That is the heart of the 2026 Portlife, isn't it? And it looks awesome. And again, I really want to... This is a testimony to the people here living out the vision. I'm sorry if I'm harping on about it again. This is what living out a vision, where a group of a few hundred people get together and go, we're going to be in on this. And you know they're going to be in on it because they do things like this. They wear it. I tell you, it's a pretty good sign when a person's wearing the vision to church and they haven't been paid to do so. He's not getting an endorsement for this. I didn't even know. I didn't set him up. Did you know I was going to do that? I didn't know I was going to do it, but then I saw that and I thought I can use that. Because that is the thing. If we literally wear the vision, and I don't mean clothing, if you wear it on your heart, it will impact. Thank you, church. You're doing an amazing job of it. Just keep doing it. That's it. Just keep doing it. We're going to end with a time of worship, and then I'm going to let people go and get a caffeine fix, but I'm going to also stay here. If anyone wants any prayer after the service, we'd love to pray with you down here. We have a small team that are here just at the end of these worship songs, but let's stand. Let's actually now just be grateful and thank God, because at the end of the day, it's God that has done this. God works in people's lives. You become vessels, but it's God that does the work. So let's just be grateful to him. Let's finish in worship. Thank you, team. You guys have done seriously good job this morning. What a time of worship this morning. Beforehand, how good is it going to be now? Thank you.